track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's dim. NFR, let's begin. NFR, lights are green. Zooming fast, slick machine. Every twist, every scene. Catch the action on your screen. NFR, yeah. NFR, yeah. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's dim. NFR, let's begin. Tuesday night, 8 p.m. We go SAFRL the show. Engines roar, lights will glow. Feel the rush, feel the flow. Every lap, a twist, a turn. Speeding fast, rubber burn. Crowds cheer, hearts churn. Victory, what we yearn. SAFRL, we ride. Highs and lows side by side. Drama here can't hide. Victory, what we earn. SAFRL, we ride. Highs and lows side by side. Drama here can't hide. Racing fast in full stride. Crashes, spins on the track. Up and down, who's coming back? Champions rise, no slack. Push to the front, never back. Pit stops, precision, gold. Strategy, daring, bold. Who will lead, not foretold. Speed and skill, tales unfold. SAFRL, we ride. Highs and lows side by side. Drama here can't hide. Racing fast in full stride.
Just one more thing before I go, before I let you take the throne. You go right and I stay left. And if you ever get too close, you'll know my name before I go. They love me, then they love you now. But don't forget there's one more round. Oh, the pain, I know it will, but I wear it like a crown. I am a fighter. Before this fight is over, you'll know my name. thing before I go. Before I let the curtain close. You can take the spotlight now, but when the lights are low, you'll still hear my echo. They build you up, then tear you down, but I won't make a sound, 'cause I've been here before, and I'll be here when you're gone. I am a fighter. Before this fight is over, you'll know my name before I go. 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 No, I won't fade away. No, I won't break today. I've got one more thing to say before I go. You know my name 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 before I go. Before I go. Before I go. There is a star that lights the road. Will it take me to the end? Well, I don't know. But for one last time, I'll take this ride and just try. I wanna be the only one to make it to the light, take it to the edge where I have died 1,000 times, and maybe I could be the one to ride into the setting sun tonight. Just strive, breathing frustrated while I'm waiting on a miracle. I know the world is full of different kind of people. I know I'm strong walking down the street and I'm feeling so invisible. You talk to me like I'm not your equal. I know I'm strong. Feel like I could break out, break out. I could use some space now to breathe out. The pressure's on me. You asked me to be something like me. Why you trying to paint me like your enemy? Feel like I could break out into something just like me. Calling in the lines, yeah, I ain't so predictable. The world is a haystack and I am the needle. I don't belong. Why you trying to turn me into something so typical? There you go again, waiting on the sheeple. They won't belong. Feel like I could break out, break out. I could use some space now to breathe out. The pressure's on me. You asked me to be something like me. Why you trying to paint me like your enemy? Feel like I could break out into something just like me. Into something just like me. Feel like I could break out, break out. Feel like I could break out, break out. Pressure's on me. You asked me to be something like me. Why you trying to paint me like your enemy? Feel like I could break out into something just like me. 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 Into something just. Under neon lights and engine screams, she's the guardian of our speed-filled dreams. With skull in flight and alien on the chase, she's the calm in the storm, our guiding grace. Andre by her side, loyal and strong, their love's been racing all along. But it's the brotherhood she holds so near. With every lap she makes it clear. Oh, Death Queen, heart of the grid. With every cheer she lifts the lid on fears, on doubt she tears through night. Her voice, our fuel, our fearless light. From cockpit to coach she stands supreme, a true believer in the brotherhood dream. Oh, Death Queen, in shadows and gleam, you are the queen of our sim racing team. Trophies shine, but not like her pride. Watching Skull and Andre glide. She's there in silence, she's there in roar, in every circuit, every lore. From midnight spins to dawn's first light, she's always there holding us tight. No crash too deep, no curve too wide. With her in spirit, fears on doubt, she tears through night. For our voice, our fuel, our fearless light. From cockpit to coach, she stands supreme, a true believer in the brotherhood dream. Oh, Death Queen in shadows and gleam, you are the queen of our sim racing team. She ain't just a fan, she's a legacy born through every F1 storm we wore. Holding the line, fierce and unseen, forever our monarch, our Death Queen. Whoa, Death Queen, heart of the grid. With every cheer she lifts the lid on fears, on doubt, she tears through night. For our voice, our fuel, our fearless light. From cockpit to coach, she stands supreme, a true believer in the brotherhood dream. Queen in shadows and gleam, you are the queen of our sim racing team. Yeah, oh Death Queen, you are the queen of our sim racing team.
Like a shooting star, the engines roar, the tires scream. Fast as lightning, it's the dream. Speed and drama, every turn on NFR, the rubber burns. Feel the thrill of every bend, where the champions transcend. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR calls to play on NFR every race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, holy friend. And now Fernando calls to play on NFR race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Death Queen, the top support is seen. The crowd where speed is keen. NFR, the place to be. Join the race, watch and see.
It's time to go. Feel the speed, let it flow. Racing hearts, watch them glow. Turn it up, start the show. NFR, feel the heat. Fast and fierce, never beat. Engines roar, can't stay off seats. Catch the thrill, it's so sweet. Track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin. We go SAFRL the show. Engines roar, lights will glow. Feel the rush, feel the flow. Every lap, a twist, a turn. Speeding fast, rubber burn. Crowds cheer, hearts churn. Victory, what we yearn. SAFRL, we ride. Highs and lows side by side. Drama here can't hide. Victory, what we earn. SAFRL, we ride. Highs and lows side by side. Drama here can't hide. Racing fast in full stride. Crashes, spins on the track. Up and down, who's coming back? Champions rise, no slack. Push to the front, never back. Pit stops, precision, gold. Strategy, daring, bold. Who will lead, not foretold. Speed and skill, tales unfold. SAFRL, we ride. Highs and lows side by side. Drama here can't hide. Racing fast in full stride.
Just one more thing before I go. Before I let you take the throne. You go right and I stay left. And if you ever get too close, you'll know my name before I go. They love me, then they love you now. But don't forget there's one more round. Oh, the pain, I know it will, but I wear it like a crown. I am a fighter. Before this fight is over, you'll know my name before I
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome back to NFR, welcome back to SAFRL, Season 14, Round 4. Of course, last week we had our mystery round. You guys got to decide on the circuit, and you guys decided on Imola this time round. Set in stone. We're at Jeddah. Personally, not one of my favorite circuits. Know a lot of drivers that don't like the circuit, also know a lot of drivers that love the circuit. Of course, the second longest circuit in F1, only behind Spa-Francorchamps. Also the circuit on the calendar with the most amount of corners, 27 I believe it is. Going to be 25 laps for the 50% distance. Already some cars out on track. Got Milk out on circuit. We've got Smurf out on circuit. Skulk and Skull. Nothing complicated about those teammates at all. Skulk and Skull. I'll be fine. Don't worry about me. Osman, Miguel, Bosch Cartoon, Captain Slow, Jonas, and Andre all out on circuit. Also got Midas, Tiago, Top Gun, Lebby, Spikes, and Grimmy in the session. They remain in the pits for now. Tiago is in the pits, but he's also in the comment section, and he says, let's make it interesting. Let's see what exactly he means by that. From last place to victory? Who knows? 16 drivers in the session. Of course, we like to see 20 drivers in the session, but the good thing for these drivers having just 16 out there is the track's a little less full. Of course, can get complicated around these street circuits, even though it's the longest street circuit on the calendar. Things do get quite complicated when you've got all 20 cars out on circuit trying to set their best lap. No lap times just yet. Smurf on a quick lap. Milk on a quick lap, as are the Williams teammates, Skulk and Skull. I'm just going to say them in pairs, and then, yeah. If I refer to them individually, I'm going to get it wrong. Osman, one of the two Haas drivers. We also have 2 Red Bulls, 2 RBs. We just have the 1 Ferrari, the 2 Williams, just the 1 McLaren, just the 1 Sauber. How much longer am I going to say that name, Sauber? Not much longer. Still got the poll open in the comment section, so if you haven't voted in the poll, leave your vote there. Who do you think is going to be ahead in the Constructors' Championship between the 2 new F1 teams? Of course, Audi coming into the sport, buying the Sauber team, and then of course Cadillac starting from scratch. Of course, Audi does take with it a lot of the staff from Sauber, most of them, for the most part. Whereas Cadillac, well, they're going about this in a new way. Of course, their headquarters are going to be in the United States. First Formula One team to have their headquarters in the United States. Haas is a US team, but they're headquartered in Silverstone. Lap times now coming in. Jonas, the quickest driver so far, 27.3. The next best is a 27.9 by Skull. Hasn't scored any points in the championship just yet in season 14, and he'd like to make that different here tonight. Very, very quick circuit, but it is still a street circuit. Barriers come awfully close, and when you're looking for every single bit of tarmac you can find, sometimes, well, you get a little too close to those barriers, and that's usually the end of things. If you're lucky, you're able to get the car back to the pits. This is Tiago. No lap time from him just yet. He's on an out lap. In fact, he's just gone over the line to start his first lap of the evening. Have a look how this circuit looks from on board, and well, this is why I don't like it. Can't see where I am. It's just Pirelli boards everywhere. And I know one mistake, and well, that's the end of that. And if you've ever seen me drive, which you haven't, because I refuse to stream my own driving, you'd know that if I get 2 or 3 laps of this circuit done successfully, that's a success. But if I make it to my first stint of pit stops, it's a miracle. Don't have much problems finishing in Monaco, but this circuit, disastrous. So I think it was at the last Grand Prix at this circuit in 2025. The average speed recorded around this circuit, 252 kilometers an hour. That is the average speed over the duration of the race. Think of the beating that these engines take around here. Thiago about to go over the line. He goes over the line for a 28.7. That's his first attempt of the night. It's good enough for P7. It'll slot him in just behind Andre. Andre 28.5 in P6. 28.4 for Skulk. 28.4 for Osman. In fact, look at the lap times. Look at the lap times between 4 and 5. That doesn't happen very often. And surely it will be broken by the end of the session. Osman 28.469. Skulk 28.469. Of course, when that happens, the driver who set the lap time first gets the higher position. So far, it's Jonas, Lebby, and Skull. Still waiting for lap times from 3 of the drivers, Smurf, Midas, and Miguel. All 3 of those circuits out. Wow. All 3 of those cars out on circuit. 2 of them on outlap. Smurf on a attempted quick lap. How quickly does the session go by when you've got a long circuit like this? Of course, the circuit doesn't seem that long because you get around here really quickly. That's all to do with the average speed around the circuit. Jonas still quickest. Lebby P2, but that's half a second back. Then Skull P3, just a further 1/10 of a second adrift. How do I put this back? There we go. And like that. Then Osman P4, Skulk P5, Andre still 6, Thiago 7. He's just being wheeled back into the pits. Rabico, good evening. Haven't seen your name in quite some time. Of course, this is just Q1. In SAFRL, we do not have the full qualifying session, so at the end of Q1, that will be your order for the race. And usually there's no real break in between the two, so resume in approximately 10 minutes. This is Milk P10, 28.9. If I'm not mistaken, is this his debut? I believe this is his debut. Somebody was talking about their debut on the Discord, and I sent them a picture of Lance Stroll. I think it may have been Milk. Aha. I was wondering why Rabico was asking when is it starting. I'm like, well, there's a timer right there. He was delayed in the stream. He was still listening to the music. Now Miguel does get that first lap time done. It's a 27.3. Oh, so close. Oh, my SAFRL sign is just a little too big. It's blocking my lap time. There we go. 27.318. Then second best, 27. Oh, look at this. Midas into provisional pole, 27.2. We weren't talking about him, and now all of a sudden he steals the spotlight, 27.2. Next best, 27.3, 27.3. Very, very close between the top three. The rest got a bit of work to do. Skulk in P4, but that's over half a second back from the top three. Lebby in the pits, Skull in the pits, Smurf in the pits, Osman on an outlap. Is this Milk? Is he coming into the pits, or is this the end? Yep, coming into the pits. This is Andre. He's on a invalidated lap. You can see the track map is lit up in red, so this lap will not count for a lap time. I don't think he minds too much about that. He's doing his usual strategy of going out on the same set of tyres, doing multiple laps on that set of tyres, and then coming in at the end for a fresh set, and usually finds quite the improvement. Harsh Cartoon in the pits. Well, I'm not quite sure what the Ferrari mechanics are doing. Nobody's quite sure what the mechanics at Ferrari are ever doing. Hopefully 2026 will be the year they can turn things around. 19 years without a Constructors' Championship. Midas, a lot of cars in the pits now, just over 4.5 minutes remaining. A lot of these cars will be preparing for their final run, but it's so important to manage your time, manage your space on the circuit. The last thing you want to do, get involved with another car, or even give your opponent a slipstream. Got to be aware of where everybody is on that track map before you go out. Don't want to get impeded, and you don't want to give anybody else an advantage, especially on this circuit. Where if stats are to be believed, DRS around this circuit worth 9/10 of a second. I say if stats are to be believed, because I'm pretty sure it's worth a little more than that. Some pretty big straights. Let me know if you're one of the drivers. What do you reckon is the difference, lap time, DRS, or without? Osman over the line, 27.9, good enough for P6. Just ahead of Skull. Lebby 5. All of those top 5 in the pits. Harsh Cartoon out of the session. I'm not sure if he's out of the session because he wants to be out of the session, getting ready for the race, or if he had an incident out on circuit. He will take no further part. And of course, those 3 cars behind him still have the opportunity to improve. So he might find himself from P13 to P last place. Things so close at the front, waiting for those top 3 to come back out on circuit and show us what they can do in their final run. Don't think anybody's going to be having any double quick laps around this circuit. Of course, takes an incredible amount out of the battery. Got to manage the battery correctly. The last thing you want to do is get to that final straight and have no battery to play with. This circuit all about top speed. Got a few tools at your disposal, and in order to get the very best lap time, you have to use those tools to near perfection. You're looking at the second Williams driver in the timesheets. This is Skull. A difficult time in the season so far, but tonight's the night. Tonight's the night to turn things around. What do you say, Skull? Night's the night. I know you're listening in the background. Maybe you're listening in the background. I'm not sure. You were here earlier. I don't think he listens to me in the background. If he did, he'd realize how many times he's crashed while I was on board with him. And he wouldn't anymore. All of those top 5 on outlaps. Things will get interesting. Are those 5 drivers going to be able to improve on their final run? We've seen that many times before where drivers simply don't improve on the final run. Things go wrong. And on a circuit like this, if things go wrong early on in the lap, sector 1, for the most part, your lap is gone. Any sort of mistake around a circuit that requires constant top speed, and that is the end of your lap time. Midas, he has already gone over the line to start a timed lap, as has Miguel. Skulk on a timed lap, Levy on a timed lap, as is Milk. We're waiting for Jonas to go over the line to start his timed lap. There's going to be a lot of action in about a minute and a half from now. Will we see a major change in the timesheets? Or will we see everybody simply fail to go quicker? Driving with the quickest man in the timesheet so far, Midas 27.2. One of those drivers I don't mention enough. On his day, on his circuit, he is very, very quick. And this is what I mean. Just cars everywhere. Everybody leaving it late. I wonder if that has ruined his lap. No, it hasn't. He's found time. He's found 0.2 of a second. Goes up to 26.9. Throws down the gauntlet to the rest of the drivers. You want my pole position? Well, you're going to have to get into the 26s. Challenge accepted. Challenge accepted. 26.7. Miguel, championship leader, goes up into provisional pole. It's not over yet. Jonas out on circuit. He's in P3. 27.3 was his best lap. He's going to have to find himself half a second. 0.6 of a second if he's going to get himself into pole. But if he can find himself 0.4 and get himself onto the all-important front row. I think everybody has completed a lap. This is the final lap. Is he going to dive into the pits or is he going to go for it? This suggests there's a little bit more. There is a little bit more. Goes from a 27.3 to a 27.1. It's not enough to improve position. It is enough to improve lap time. But that is the end of qualifying. So in that poll I put up earlier about Audi and Cadillac, I think Audi building an engine from scratch, building a gearbox from scratch, I think it could be tricky. Of course, Cadillac using the tried and tested Ferrari components. So there are your results. Miguel 26.7 at the end, takes provisional pole. Midas P2 26.9. Then Jonas, P3, Skulk and Skull, the two Williams, 4 and 5. Then Levy, Milk, Osman, Smurf, and Andre make up the top 10. Then beyond the top 10 with a little bit of work to do, Spikes P11, Tiago P12, Harsh Cartoon 13, Top Gun 14, and Grimmy will go from the rear of the field. Of course, now we look down the empty pit lane, all the cars to the left-hand side of your screen doing their final preparations for the race. Final preparations, of course, deciding what tire you're going to start the race on. sometimes that plays perfectly in your favor if there's an early safety car. Reminder to everyone in the comments section and to everyone in the field. Well, you got to keep this up at this point. I think this is the deepest we've been into a season on this channel without a safety car. We have not had a safety car in round 1, 2, or 3. But now we're in Saudi. It's quick. There's a lot of barriers. Tonight might be the night we get enough safety cars to make up for the other 3. Now the drivers get away for the formation lap. Of course, it's not just a waste of time. This lap is all about tire preparation, brake preparation, getting ready for turn 1. So important, turn 1. I say it every single race. It's where races can die. Do all the work during the week, practicing, get to qualifying, take pole, get turn 1 wrong. It all means, well, nothing. So it's going to be Miguel and Midas on the front row, Mercedes and Haas. And an RB and a Williams, 3 and 4. Williams and an Aston Martin, 5 and 6. Like the most dominant team there in the top 10 is the Williams. The Williams 4 and 5. Of course, Mercedes leading the Constructors' Championship, 74 points. Haas in P2 on 56 points. It's going to take a lot of work to take this Constructors' Championship away from Mercedes. Of course, Andre, known for scoring consistent points. And Miguel, so far in this season, has proven quite unbeatable. From the comment section, good luck to the SAFRL boys, everybody in the field. Best of luck to you. Hope to see all 16 of you at the checkered flag. I'm being optimistic. Blindly optimistic. Now we wait for a better camera angle, and there it is. Now, you know the drill. 5 red lights, they come on one by one. When there's 5 of them, there's a pause, and when they go off, we get underway. Miguel versus Midas. Mercedes versus Haas into turn 1. Looks like it's not going to be too much of a competition there. Mercedes gets into the turn well before the Haas comes out of the turn easily ahead. Not anything too spectacular there from turn 1. Looks like everybody got through there pretty cleanly. It's a long race, 25 laps. No need to do anything silly into turn 1. Still have all 16 drivers. I don't think anybody has fallen through the field, so I don't think there's any damage either. You can see there the position changes, nothing serious. The top 5 exactly where they started. Milk got past Leby at the start. 1 position gained, 1 lost for Leby. Top Gun got a good start. He's 2 positions up. Tiago down 2 positions. And then Grimmy and Captain Slow at the back. They have swapped positions. Of course, no pit stops. Not too often you see a turn 1 with 0 damage throughout the field. This circuit, very, very important to stay within DRS. The moment you fall out of DRS, just going to see that car disappearing up the road. These 3, Miguel, Midas, and Jonas. Look at this, the horse showing a little bit of aggression, looking towards the outside. Never looked like a realistic pass, but just, it's not about the pass. It's about the pressure. About reminding him you're there. He knows you're there. But it's just giving him a tap on the back of the head going, hey, get a move on. Jonas not far behind either. P3 just half a second behind Midas. Skulk now getting awfully close to falling out of that DRS. Told you in qualifying how important DRS is around this circuit. Worth almost a second around this circuit. If Miguel is at the front setting the pace, Miguel and Midas and Jonas will be towed by that pace so long as they can stay within a second. Once the rest of the field falls out of that DRS, makes a big, big difference. You could see the top three splitting away here pretty quickly. Now we do see someone falling down the order. Someone's falling down the order. It's a Williams. It's a Williams. It's the Williams of Skull. See if we can get a better look at that car. It's coming into the pits. It's got no front wing. And he's done that again. It's a long, long race. There's no need to do that. You can come out at the back. You'll never know. You can get a safety car. Catch the back of the queue. We've seen the craziest things in these races. Seen drivers from the rear of the field win races. Seen drivers from the lead go to the rear of the field and still win the race. Anything can happen. The safety cars do come out and they fall just right for you. Still, anything is on the table. Miguel, Midas, Jonas, that is still the same order. Skulk P4, Levy P5. Nothing has changed in the top five. Those positions exactly where they started. Then you've got Osman and Andre. Andre doing something different. Only two cars in this field on the hard tire. Andre, one of them. The other one is Spikes. Andre has just made up a position as he's trying to go around the outside of Osman, and he gets it around the outside of a driver who should be on the superior tire at this stage. Some brave driving. Gets the position. But now the problem for him is DRS. Haas is going to come straight back at him. Not into turn one. Thinks better of it. Knows there's more DRS zones. Just needs to line that car up perfectly behind the Mercedes. And taking that position back. Well, it's inevitable. I literally learned that word from Thanos. Inevitable. Smurf. Got a bit of a queue forming behind him. What has happened here? Somebody's falling down the order. What's happened there? Smurf. Commentator's curse. Went to the Red Bull. Red Bull disappeared from our screens, and then the Red Bull was facing the wrong direction. He's got a broken wing, I believe, on the left. There we go. Gonna have to come into the pits. A broken wing around this circuit. Not that much fun. Not much fun around most circuits. Milk on debut at the rear of the field. Got a set of hard tires. Things don't look good now, but like I say, so many things can happen in these races. And at the end of 25 laps, sometimes I'll find someone in P4 or 5 and I go, wait a second, how did he get there? now Midas from Miguel. They have changed positions at the front. Of course, if you're at the front and you can't break that DRS, it does become quite tiring. Every single DRS zone, you're looking in your mirrors, you're trying to defend, and at some point, you accept the overtake, knowing you're going to be the one getting DRS next time around. Take a break, you do the attacking. Midas, you absorb the pressure, see how you like it. Have a caution in Sector 2, and that is a full yellow circuit. Just keep your eyes on that circuit. This says full caution Sector 2. We don't usually get a full yellow track for a caution. I think we've just got the incorrect information on our screens, maybe. Not sure why it says solid caution 2. There we go, that explains it. They were under virtual safety car, and that virtual safety car has come to an end. And what an overtake. Jonas catching Miguel unaware on the restart. Catching him napping. And look at that, what happened there? Midas has a penalty, Miguel has a penalty, Captain Slow has a penalty, and I'm pretty sure those were not there a moment ago. I have no idea what's going on with my stats. They keep on jumping up and down. There we go. Nope. Can you see that? It's jumping. There we go. Fun times. Midas, set of mediums. Jonas, set of mediums. Miguel now down to P3. Was the quickest man in qualifying. Led the race for that first little stint of the race. And went down a position to P2. And then on the restart, Jonas. Absolutely harsh. Midas into the pits. I think I know what those penalties are. Those penalties, they're drive-throughs. They're drive-throughs. Seen that before at the end of virtual safety cars. Not sure if it's a game glitch. Not sure if it's the guy's just getting a little too trigger happy. That means 2 of the 3 quickest drivers out on circuit so far have drive-through penalties. One of them has already completed his drive-through penalty. The other one is the Mercedes. Miguel needs to visit the pits for a drive-through penalty. Of course, unlike other penalties, they don't add anything on at the end of the race. You have 3 laps to go and visit the pits. If you don't visit the pits within those 3 laps, well, you find yourself disqualified as you go over the line. Great helicopter shot. So disappointing. These 2 racing it out on circuit. Looks like an absolute dinger of a race. But you know, one of those drivers have to come in, serve a penalty. But for Jonas, promise you, I was going to say under the helmet he's probably smiling, but if he does wear a helmet in his rig, that's pretty weird. And if he wears a helmet and uses a controller, well, that's even weirder. In fact, there was one driver, not sure if he raced here, I don't think he raced here. I think he raced on a Thursday night. And, well, this guy did exactly that. He had proper racing gloves. And I mean proper, I mean like fireproof stuff. And he wore a helmet. That's right, he wore a helmet. I guess he was worried about potentially falling out of the rig. Skulk. DNF from Skulk. I think we're under another virtual safety car. The entire track is yellow, but I don't see a safety car out on circuit. Second virtual safety car. And the Williams. Maybe, and I really, really hope not. Maybe this is a precursor to the 2026 Williams season. Of course, that car, 25 kilos overweight for the 2026 season. Failed its first 4 crash tests. And eventually, in order to pass that crash test, quite a lot of weight was added to that car. So the Williams at the beginning of the season, things aren't looking good. This is Miguel, the man that was in P2, now coming in for that drive-through. So frustrating. Just got to go through the pits at 80 or 60, whatever it is at this particular circuit. And you can hear the engine roar of your opponents flying past you down the main straight, and you powerless to stop it. Fortunately for Miguel, he only lost the 1 position on track, lost a whole lot of time, but in terms of positions, just lost position to Osman. That means he's in P3. He's 2.5 seconds adrift. I think he'd rather be 2.5 seconds adrift than on a brand new set of tires. Thiago on a drive-through as well. Did he get a drive-through on the second virtual safety car? This car going very slowly. Is there damage? Not sure what's happening with the Sauber. Everything looks okay. They drive through another DNF. Harsh Cartoon joins the DNFs. So both Williams out of the race. No points on the table for Williams. There was only one Ferrari. That Ferrari's out. No points on the table for Ferrari tonight. If you're Jonas, you're thinking, this race just rolled out the red carpet. I need to make sure I don't trip. Osman comes into the pits. He was 14 seconds adrift from the man in P1. He'll fall even further back. Jonas has not made a pit stop. Miguel has not made a pit stop. Remy up into P3, Andre P4, but he's on a set of hard tires, so he's going to go a little bit deeper than all of these other drivers. He'll be pitting a little later. His turn will come. But the 2 Haas drivers, 6 and 7. Midas looked so strong not so long ago. But now down in P7, 7.8 seconds adrift from his own teammate. And that drive through was very damaging to that Haas driver's race. Still no safety car, nothing to bring this queue together. Wonder if the admin aren't telling me something. Did everyone just want to get back to the couch a little bit earlier, so safety car was switched off? Who knows? Retirements in the race already. Harsh Cartoon, Skull and Skull, both Williams. Started with 16 down to 13. That's an ominous number. Only one driver on circuit has a penalty. Not quite sure where you cut the corners here. I don't think it's really about cutting the corners here. It's about running wide on, well, I suppose there. Midas 130.3. He is in P6, but now he's throwing everything at it. What happens when you see a very, very quick driver driving with a little bit of extra frustration? Just throws everything at it, and you see these lap times, these impressive lap times that can only really come up when the adrenaline is peaking. They're riding with Jonas, and it's just absolutely perfect, using just enough curb. Seen them get a lot closer to the barrier in qualifying, but doesn't need to take any risks. 13.7 second gap. Second thought, better keep up the pace. Miguel now 12.9 seconds, 13.0 anyway. It's jumping. But we've seen how quickly he can close a gap. Of course, already 10 laps on those medium tires. How is he going to play it? Is he going to pit same time as everyone else, or is he going to try and extend the tires by 2 or 3 laps? We've seen the drivers do that. Gives you a slightly fresher tire in those final laps. You can extend the first set. Of course, if you're not losing lap time, then there's no reason to get rid of those tires. And at the moment, he is closing the gap to the lead. So that tells me those mediums are still working just fine. Maybe not at their peak, but just fine. This is Levy in P3. Had a relatively quiet race. And of course, with the misfortune of all the drive-thrus in the field, now gets himself into a podium position. It's a podium position that's not safe yet. Lap 12 of 25. Long way to go. Does have a fresh set of hards though. Slightly out of sync with the rest. Might be off here, but Leby might either take the lead of the race or being very close to taking the lead of the race. In fact, he will take the lead of the race. Well, there he is. Said it would be close. Not quite close enough. He'll come around the corner, see the RB and go, damn. So Jonas pits just in time. I think if he had done another lap, he would have lost enough time for Levy to get by. So pits just in time, maintains his lead. Levy P2, Andre P3, then Osman and Midas 4 and 5. Miguel down to P6 after his pit stop. But if you look at the gap to the leader, there's not much in it between P1 and P6. But these gaps can close very, very quickly, and overtaking at this circuit, well, the circuit was built for overtaking. Another odd fact about this circuit, that it's the only street circuit that was designed to be an F1 track. So is it really a street circuit? Of course, it was built for the purpose of F1. Cars do use it during the week, but it was built for the purpose of F1. There was nothing here before, whereas normal street circuits are placed on existing layouts. So is it really a street circuit? Just an excuse to call it a street circuit. Of course, Saudi Arabia was looking to change the venue of the Saudi Grand Prix in 2028 to a venue approximately half an hour from the circuit. But I haven't heard much news of that in approximately like 6 months now, so I'm not sure if that is still happening. Last I heard, Jeddah might not be much longer. In fact, Saudi said they'd love to have both on the calendar. Had someone leave the session, but I didn't see who. Jonas leads the way. Levy P2, 5.1 seconds, 5.2 now for the lead. Then we've got Midas and Osman, 3 and 4, the two Haas. Going to be interesting now. How do the teammates deal with each other? Death Queen saying we should put all the aliens in an SAFRL race. Wheeze, Big T, Don, Miguel, Midas, Jonas. That would be quite interesting. Or it could be Havoc. Who knows? All I'll say is I'll be very glad not to be part of that field. I don't like getting lapped, and I feel like on that night it's going to happen multiple times. This Midas, he has already passed his teammate. Thought it would be interesting to see how the Haas drivers sorted that out, but Midas the quicker of the two, and Osman not making too much of a fight for it. In fact, Osman's lost another position. There goes Miguel around the outside, and the Mercedes is on the prowl. This is not over yet. 9 laps to go. Everyone in the top 6 on a set of hard tires. But the Mercedes in P4, well, they've got the freshest of those hard tires. When it does come to the end of the race, if any of those hards are starting to slip and slide, you might just find the race conditions are perfect for him in the closing laps. I can go 2 hours before a stream without getting a single WhatsApp message. The moment I start streaming, well, the phone starts pinging. Great times. Miguel in P4 still trying to make up ground. 2.4 seconds up the road to the next car. The next car is Midas. He's in P3 trying to get back towards the leader. Of course, it looked like there were going to be 3 cars in the race for that podium, for that victory. 2 of them got a very harsh drive-through penalty, and it has put Jonas in a very strong position. There goes another message. I told you. And will you look at that? It's not even related to the one before that. So now at this point, it's just several people, and, well, got news for them. They're being ignored. In fact, me speaking about the messages is the most acknowledgement they'll get. Jonas leads the way. Levy P2, Midas P3. Miguel 1.8. The last time we spoke of that gap, it was 2.5 seconds. He's found another 7/10 once he gets within DRS. It's going to be game on with the Haas. Of course, Midas, no slouch. It's not like he's simply going to overtake Midas and get on with it. It's going to be difficult. We saw them in the first into the race. They were awfully close. We saw their lap times in qualifying. They were awfully close. Qualifying means nothing. Qualifying pace means nothing, especially at this point in the race. It's all about race pace. It's all about who's managed their tires the best. And who's got the ability to absorb the pressure of final laps. That is something Red Bull do not want to see in 2026. There are two cars at the rear of the field. 12 and 13 in this case. Of course, we spoke about Cadillac with their Ferrari engine. We spoke about Audi with their Audi engine. Don't forget, Red Bull's getting... I'm not sure what it is. It's a Red Bull powertrain with Ford assistance, I guess. I know it's not a Ford. I don't know, it's complicated. The Haas says Toyota on it, and it's got absolutely nothing to do with Toyota. The Aston Martin doesn't have an Aston Martin engine. So, and the Alpine, which is a Renault, is going to have a Mercedes engine. So it's all a mess. How am I supposed to know how these things... Who would have thought? Renault with a Mercedes engine. Once proud French manufacturer going to the Germans looking for some extra power. I drive a Renault, and I guess you can tell. Oh, and it's not a Renault. It's a Renault. Of course, if you start naming European cars what they're supposed to be named, they sound pretty silly. Well, if you've ever been to the United States and had to deal with Americans, especially in the South, well, you'll know that they just get all car names wrong. When I got to America, I heard a radio ad, and it was a car dealership, and they were selling cars in the city of Lancaster, I think it was. And at the end of the ad, they said the brand name, and I was like, what on earth? What car is that? Turns out it was a Nissan ad. But it was pronounced Nissan. Gotta love it. Nissan. They also say Mazda. Mazda and Nissan. And I'd say Nissan, and they'd say it again, it's so funny. And I'd be, what the... I'm pretty sure you can finish that. I also once swore at a guy in Spanish in America. Don't ever swear at a guy in Spanish in America, because he turned out to be Puerto Rican. And he didn't like what I had to say. Jonas, Midas, Miguel, Lebby, Osman. Driver we haven't spoken about too much. Andre, P6. Of course, he qualified in P10. Through some of the overtakes of his own and through some of the misfortune of others. Told you this is what Andre did. What he does. I mentioned it early on in the stream. It's going to be difficult to beat Mercedes. Of course, today Miguel holding on for a podium. Might still catch Midas and turn that into a P2. So constantly getting points for Mercedes. And then Andre, while not necessarily winning races, constantly in the points column. And I just think it's going to be very difficult to take this team championship away from Mercedes unless things have a serious turnaround. Looking at the McLaren, there's also a team that was late for testing. 2 Alpines, soon to be Alpine Mercedes. Remy and Milk, 8 and 9. And you've got Spikes down in P10. We know he's quicker than P10. Obviously not his favorite race circuit, or maybe things just haven't quite gone his way. Smurf P11, so at least the 2 Red Bulls on stone last. Helmut Marko will be feeling a little better about that. The Kick Salber P12, Thiago has had an up and down race. And Captain Slow at the rear of the field and the only driver on a penalty. And we checked, that was a 3-second penalty, and I think it still is. Midas coming under pressure. This is brilliant for the leader. This is brilliant for Jonas. While these two battle it out for P2, he's got a clean race circuit ahead of him and he can just extend that gap. It's not going to be easy. Miguel gets around on the outside. Midas did try and make it difficult, but now the horse is going to have DRS to try and come right back at him, and he does exactly that. Long before turn 1. And the horse takes the position right back, and look at that. Doesn't get a good exit. That means the Mercedes is right on the back of the diffuser of the horse, and an attack is coming soon. DRS zone in Jeddah is never far away. Midas got overtaken by the Mercedes, kept his composure, knew a DRS zone was coming, opened up DRS, took that position back immediately, then didn't get a good exit out of turn 1, but again, just kept the composure, kept the lead. Things could have gone wrong both times. Get overtaken, you get all muddled up. Get annoyed, you make a mistake. He didn't do that. Knew there was a DRS zone coming up around the corner. Let him have the position, only to take it right back. This is Levy going much faster than you'll see Stroll ever go. In fact, no racing driver should have the name Stroll. In fact, that is not Lance Stroll's name. That is a shortened name. In fact, his name is Lance Strulovich. And his father is Lawrence Strulovich. They obviously didn't like the name. Midas, 13.4 seconds adrift from Jonas, but it's only 2 laps to go, 23 of 25. That would take a serious mistake from the driver up the road. Midas 2, Miguel 3. Have they settled for those positions? Because the gap now 1.2 seconds. Mercedes has fallen out of DRS. I don't see any damage on the front wing or anything like that. Maybe just charging up the battery and preparing for that final attack. This is something the drivers really need to pay attention to in these closing laps. If you're fighting for position in the closing laps, you need to monitor your battery. You need to make sure you've managed it perfectly. When you get to that final lap, you've got no battery to play with. Well, you might as well not even defend. Because the overtake will happen, whether you like it or not. Midas goes over the line to start lap 24 of 25. Jonas has already done that. He's down the road 13.9 seconds. Actually increasing the gap slightly in these closing stages. He's got 11 laps on his hard tires. Midas has got 15. Miguel also 11. Said, was he just charging up? And that appears to be the case. 0.4 of a second, 0.3 of a second right behind Midas. He's going to give it a go right at the end to try and take P2, salvage P2 from a race that he could have almost certainly won. The three I thought would be the top three are still the top three. They're just a little more spread out than I thought. Nothing spread out about these two, though. Midas and Miguel still right to the end. 24 of 25, just 0.3 of a second in it. You've got to decide, where do you make the overtake? You could make the overtake and then give that driver the advantage of DRS just to take it back before the end of the race. Got to decide where you're going to make that overtake. Commit to the overtake. Get it done. Mercedes goes around the outside. Will he get it done on the exit? Yes, he does. Miguel. Wonder if that will come down to the superior tyre, both on hards. But of course, Miguel went a little deeper into the race, so he's got 12 lap old hards versus 16 lap old hards. And there's your answer. Midas takes the position right back. I'm not sure if the drivers generally put on any downforce around this circuit, but Miguel might just have a little bit more downforce than Midas. Just seems to get the superior exit almost every time, especially there in turn one. There will be no more worries about turn one. This is the final lap. Raining outside. Fantastic. Back to the battle for P2. We also have a battle for P4. That is Levy currently holding that position, but we have to keep our eyes on this because couldn't be any closer. A bit of a slide from the Haas. That's going to let the Mercedes come right at him. They couldn't be any closer, and now a slide from the Mercedes. We've seen them both slide in the matter of 3 corners. And the Mercedes around the outside. Where's this going to be? Does he keep his foot in it? Goodness me, this is going to be close. Does he get DRS before the line? Hopefully not. No, he doesn't. And that's as close can be. 0.1 of a second between the two. Attention changes to the second Haas. In P4, Andre chasing him down to the end, but he's just not going to have enough in the tank. Osman over the line, P4. Andre over the line, P5. Where is Top Gun, the next driver over the line, and the only McLaren in the field this evening? Looks like he's going to pick up P6. No real penalties to speak of in the field. Top Gun over the line, then Grimmy. And there we go. Alpine over the line. Spikes P8. Plenty retirements. I think it's 4 retirements. Levy, Harsh Cartoon, Skulk, Skull. Double Williams retirement. And there we go. Now we just wait for... Usually we get a brief look at the podium with a ridiculous celebration, and then we should go to our results screen. Do we get a ridiculous celebration, or is the driver going to be a little bit more calm? Nope, definitely not calm. Not sure how the FIA president would feel about the little dance. So your race winner, Jonas, fastest lap goes to Jonas. Driver of the day goes to Grimmy. Most overtakes goes to Grimmy. And the cleanest driver on the night, that award goes to Top Gun. Now for your results. Round 4, Jonas take the victory and the fastest lap. Miguel picks up P2. Great consolidation for the penalty that came early on in the race. Then Midas P3, Osman P4. The Haas drivers got a good result tonight. Andre P5, another good result in the top 5. Then Top Gun P6, Grimmy P7, Spikes P8, Milk P9, and Smurf makes up the top 10. Outside the points, Lebby P11, he left very late on. Thiago in P12 and Captain Slow 13. The 3 DNFs, Harsh Cartoon, and the 2 Williams of Skulk and Skull. And there you have it, folks. That was Season 14, Round 4, Saudi Arabia, here at Jeddah. Of course, let's just have a look at the calendar real quick so we can see where we're going to be next week, Tuesday. Okay, there's a track I enjoy, and the week after that's a track I enjoy. So that's good. Not really a fan of Jeddah. Of course, next week we go to Spielberg, the Red Bull Ring. The week after that we go to Spa-Francorchamps, and then round 7, that is the Mystery Reverse Track Night. So basically, it's going to be Silverstone, Zandvoort, or Austria in reverse. A lot still to come on this calendar, still early days. Of course, I would bring up the Drivers and Constructors Championship, but I can't update them that quickly. I don't work for Sky. I don't have a team doing all of this for me. I want to thank all of you. This stream would not be worth it if you guys didn't show up. I want to thank all of the drivers who might be watching this later on after the fact. Of course, you guys make it entertaining, make it worth my while, and all of you in the comment section, well, you make it just as worth it. So thank you, everybody. I think that is going to be the end of our stream. I'll leave a little bit of music playing for a couple of minutes, and I will be back next week, Tuesday, for round 5 of season 14. Till next time, cheers.
You'll know my name before I go. 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 Just one more thing before I go. Before I let the curtain close, you can take the spotlight now. But when the lights are low, you'll still hear my echo. They build you up, then tear you down. But I won't make a sound, 'cause I've been here before, and I'll be here when you're gone. I am a fighter. Before this fight is over, you'll know my name before I go. 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 No, I won't fade away. No, I won't break today. I've got one more thing.
Is that real sweat? It's real sweat. I'm a high performance athlete. Athletes sweat. Sweat, baby. Sweat, sweat.
You've got a fire burning deep inside, a spark in the dark where your dreams collide. They'll tell you to stop, say the road's too long, but your heart keeps beating to a rebel song.
Take a step, don't look below. Every scar's a story, only you will know. The weight of the world can't break your stride. You're carving your name where the stars reside. When the shadows call, when the nights grow cold, you'll find the strength in the tales untold. You can rise to the sky, touch the edge of the flame, write your heart in the light, let the world know your name. No chains can hold you, no storms too wide. You're a legend in the making when you rise to the sky. The ground may shake, but your roots run deep. Every fall you take is a promise you keep. The doubters will fade, their voices will break, 'cause your soul's on fire and it's yours to take. Run through the rain, chase the endless fight. Every dream you claim lights a spark in the night. The horizon's calling, it's yours to claim. A warrior's heart with a fearless flame. When the shadows call, when the nights grow cold, you'll find the strength in the tales untold. You can rise to the sky, touch the edge of the flame, write your heart in the light, let the world know your name. No chains can hold you, no storms too wide. You're a legend in the making when you rise to the sky. Stand tall when the thunder roars, break the locks, kick down the doors. Every step is a battle won, your story's just begun. Oh, let it soar, forevermore, forevermore. You can rise to the sky, touch the edge of the flame, write your heart in the light, let the world know your name. No chains can hold you, no storms too wide. You're a legend in the making when you rise to the sky. So keep on climbing, don't ever slow. The stars are waiting where the brave ones go. You'll rise to the sky. Yeah, you'll rise to the sky. A legend in the making till the end of time.